All right, it's time to talk African football once again on Nigeria Super Fans Forum. My name remains Ashalolu Afemi. How has your week been wherever you are joining us from around the world? We say many thanks to you for sticking with Nigeria Super Fans Forum. Of course, we are based here in Lagos, Nigeria. James Agberebi is unavoidably absent today. So you and I are going to be having a conversation today, not a show, so to say. So please, we wanted to get into the conversation and let us know what you feel about issues that we'll be discussing today. So much to talk about, from Nigeria to Ghana to Gabon, and of course, for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier. Wahala deal, like we used to say right here in the local parlance here in Nigeria. It's not going to be easy ride as usual for the big weeks in African football, because, of course, the format has changed and the CAF has approved the new format, of course, proposed by FIFA. So, Wahala deal, I tell you, I don't know if we would not be saying Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, even Egypt at the next World Cup, because, of course, this on paper now, you can't say that Senegal and perhaps Morocco will likely qualify. So we will get there on the show. So to tell you, it's going to be so much fun, and of course, your time will be worth it on the show today. But of course, we'll start right here at home in Nigeria. The FIFA Under 20 World Cup will be kicking off this weekend in Argentina, and of course, Flying Eagles, they've arrived at Mendoza yesterday, where they will be playing their first two group games. But of course, it starts this Sunday with the first group game against the Dominican Republic. And of course, remember their last warm-up game, they played a 3-3 against Colombia, and that seems to be putting a lot of smiles on a lot of faces right here in Nigeria. So that is that about that. Remember that Senegal, the Gambia, Tunisia, and Nigeria will be representing Africa in that competition. So we hope that they will be able to bring some pride back home to the country. Nigeria will be seeking to win this tournament for the first time after 13 attempts. Yeah, 13 attempts. So hopefully Ladan Boso particularly will put a lot of doubters wrong this time, because the confidence in this team is almost very, very low right here in Nigeria. So the team will need to do something extraordinary to be able to get a lot of support from football fans in Nigeria. Okay, let's talk about the Super Six. The Nigeria Professional Football League will be terminating this weekend. I'm talking about the 2022-2023 league season, and it is an abridged season. Abridged season in the sense that the teams were grouped into two groups, Group A and Group B, in order to make the games easier, so that teams wouldn't have to travel far and wide like it used to be in Nigeria. But a lot of people have actually thumbs up the IMC for that arrangement. But the games will be terminating this weekend. And of course, that will eventually give way to the Super Six. The Super Six will determine the eventual winner of the 2022-2023 league season right here in Nigeria. And of course, we have Bendel Insurance, Rivers United, and Lobby Stars. They've picked, of course, 3 of the 6 places slots for the Super Six. So the remaining 3 fixtures will be contested for by the likes of Eyimba, Remo Stars, Aqua United, Duma, Sunshine. So this game, the games that will be going down this weekend, is crucial for a lot of teams, because that will give them an opportunity to shoot their shot, like a lot of people say, at the title. And of course, the IMC has come out to say that the Super Six will be taking place right here in Lagos at the Mobalaji, that facility, that wonderful facility stadium right here in Lagos. So that tournament will be, the Super Six will be going down, and it will be kicking off on June 3rd. June 3rd, that is next month. That is just less than 2 weeks away from, and now we'll be enjoying such fun, a wonderful time of football right here in Nigeria. Okay, let's talk about the facility right here in Nigeria. Of course, we've sounded like a broken record regarding the dilapidating infrastructure, football, particularly in Nigeria. Remember, James and I talked about the National Stadium right here in Lagos, how that facility has been neglected over time. And recently, CAF visited. Remember that the 2023 AFCON qualifier will be resuming next month, and the CAF visited. And of course, only one facility was approved by CAF to host CAF and FIFA competition right here in Nigeria, a country of more than 200 million people. Can you see where we have driven ourselves to just one facility? And that is the God's will Akpabio Stadium in Akwa Ibom, that is South Nigeria. Very bad. The Abuja facility that seems to have even been banned by FIFA or by CAF was built in 2003 for $360 million. That tournament hosted Koja, hosted a lot of games. Of course, remember Brazil came. Of course, the first game that was played in that facility was Brazil defeating Nigeria 3-0, just like a commemorative game to open the facility. So 2003 to now, how many years? 20 years down the line, the facility is almost off. $360 million down the drain. I don't know what our problem is with managing infrastructure. Well, that is what you get when you come to Nigeria or even some part of Africa. So CAF, as it were, I said only that stadium can host a CAF FIFA facility. Remember, that is even where Rivers United play almost all their CAF Confederation games, because even their stadium in Port Harcourt, CAF said, no, you can't host games at this place. Okay, let's talk about something that a lot of people have actually been talking about right here in Nigeria. Recently, a former BBC sport journalist and investigative journalist, so to say, like our own Anas right here in Nigeria, Osasoba Yona, came out to say that a former secretary of the Nigeria Football Federation revealed to him that the current secretary of the body, I'm talking about Alhaji Mohammed Sanusi, earns about $10,000 every month. And that is about 4,610,000. And that's got enough Nigerians talking that some national team coaches are still being owed, and you have a secretary who earns as much as that every month on a monthly basis. 4.610 million naira every month, $10,000. What? I don't know. That is what you get in this part of the world. And of course, the big one that a lot of people are still confused about is the contract of the current Super Eagles technical advisor, Ose Pesero. His contract is scheduled to expire next month. And reports coming from, unconfirmed reports, I should say, from the NFF is that Salisu Yusuf, his first assistant, will be taking charge temporarily. And a lot of Nigerians have said this should be some kind of joke. I remember the last time James was there, he also reacted to this. They said this should be some joke, right? Right, because look at the under 23 national team, as well as the Chan team. Salisu Yusuf failed to qualify these two teams for even Chan tournament, for CAF tournament, AFCON. And you're going to hand something as huge as Super Eagles to this man. That has been a debate right here in Nigeria, because Jose Pesero earns about $70,000 every month. That is about over 32 million naira every month. And it seems the cash trap NFF, remember the NFF, they've not even hidden the fact that they are cash trapped, because recently they came out to say that they will henceforth be rationing the assistant to be working with Jose Pesero for national team assignment, because money no day, like we say right here in Nigeria, there is no money, right? Okay, so let's really take a trip to Ghana. So much to talk about in that part of Africa here. Ghana, just our neighbor right here. Yeah, they are our neighbor. They are our brothers, Charlie brothers. Okay, let's talk about the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. I said it that recently it's going to be a long read, so I need to read so that we can actually understand what we're talking about. On May 18, 2023, CAF Executive Committee convened on Algiers, that is Algeria, to announce the alterations to the qualifying process, which will have significant implications for teams across the continent aspiring to secure a spot in the highly esteemed tournament, that is the FIFA World Cup 2026. Recently, remember, a few days ago, FIFA unveiled the 2026 logo. We are 26. And yeah, the new qualifying format will involve formation of 9 groups, with each group comprising 6 teams. The primary objective of this change is to intensify competition among African nations and increase their opportunities to secure a place in the global showcase. According to the revised format, the teams that finishes atop each group will earn direct qualification for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. This straightforward pathway for the most dominant sides in each group to secure that position on the world stage. However, the battle for World Cup berth will not be confined solely to the group winners. In an exciting twist to the qualification process, the committee announced that the 4 best second place teams from the groups will have a chance to compete for a coveted playoff spot. This playoff spot will determine the representative from Africa who will then face off against a team from the Confederation of North Central America, the Caribbean Association Football region. The outcome of this intercontinental playoff will determine which team ultimately secures a place in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. How you got that? I don't know how it's going to be. Before it was just a 6 group team, and the top teams in each of the 6 groups they get a direct qualification to the World Cup. But now it's going to be 9. Then the first 6 teams, the top 6 teams, get a direct qualification. Then the other second best teams in the groups will now face the intercontinental playoff. I remember that arrangement was adopted for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. That'll be coming on up in New Zealand and Australia. Of course, we had some African teams who had to play playoff with other countries from other continents. So that is the thing. Now, I do not know how this is going to be for the Super Eagles of Nigeria and Ghana. Remember, the Super Eagles missed the 2006 World Cup in Germany. And of course, last year, they missed the first ever World Cup in the Middle East in Qatar. So this one, and over time, in recent time, we've seen the fortune of the Super Eagles of Nigeria dwindling. Ghana, South Africa, Cameroon. I do not know how they're going to fare with this format, really. I do not know how they're going to fare. See how it's going to pan out. I'm sure all the different associations must have been thinking about this. There's nothing anyone can do since it has been approved by the CAF executive. The top teams, the top 6 teams, were going to make it. Then, of course, the other teams will have to face qualification process in which they will be playoff with other countries from intercontinental engagement. Okay, let's talk about Otohado. Otohado is the former Black Stars coach. Remember, he took Ghana to the 2022 FIFA World Cup. And before then, remember, we talked about it on this show on Jasper Fans Forum, that there were preferences regarding his appointment. Some politicians in Ghana wanted Chris Hughton to actually be given the job rather than Otohado. And of course, remember, Ghana's majority leader in parliament, that is Ose Mensa Bonsu, has come out to say that he actually wanted Chris Hughton to take the job rather than Otohado. But of course, we all know how it planned out. But Chris Hughton is here right now with Ghana and isn't doing badly. So we have to give Chris Hughton all the support that he deserves. Okay, quickly in the news now. Crystal Palace are interested in Mama Salisu. Remember, Mama Salisu is currently injured and is still not certain if he will be playing any part for Southampton, already relegated Southampton this season. Because recently, Ruben Seles, the Southampton manager, said Mama Salisu is not yet ready to play. So we are even hoping that he will be fit for Ghana's Black Stars 2023 AFCON qualifier away to Madagascar next month. We are hoping that it would be fit because already Tyrek Lamptey, it seems Tyrek Lamptey would not be part of that national team engagement. Okay, so let's talk about the GFA elections that will be coming up in October because Brecum Chelsea bankroller, that is the financier, has said that he will be challenging Dr. Kot Okrakum to the GFA presidency seat. So let's see how that goes. He said he will be challenging Dr. Kot Okraku in October. And Lawrence Atizigi is making all of us proud, the best goalkeeper in the Swiss league. Of course, Atizigi is justifying why he is the number one. He is the current number one goalkeeper for the Black Stars. And he said that he's honored to be named as the best goalkeeper in the division where he plays. I still have that picture on my phone where we saw him with the ambassador of Switzerland to Ghana. They stood somewhere to buy a bolly, roasted plantain. We call it right here in Nigeria. I remember we talked about it on this show. I still have that picture, and I looked at it like, wow, this is some romantic kind of arrangement. Okay, so let's talk about the week 31 in the Betbar Premier League in Ghana. It's going down, and we are hoping. Yesterday, I read that Arsenal spent almost almost 250 days at the top of the Premier League. But unfortunately, their destiny is no longer in their hands. It will take a miracle for Manchester City to deeply floor against Chelsea this weekend for Arsenal to even have any hope of still winning the title. So the Bet Power Premier League in week 31 now, after this week, we have only 3 fixtures to conclude the season. And I'm hoping right now, I am an Aduana Stars fan. So I just want Aduana Stars, at least for a team outside Ashanti Kotoko, and of course, Arts of Hope, of course, to break that jinx. Last season, it was Ashanti Kotoko. So this season, I want a disruptive kind of thing in the Ghana Premier League. So let's review at the fixtures for the week 21 in the Bet Power Premier League. We have Mr. Treman. They'll be taking on Tamale United. Breckham United will be taking on Legon Cities. Accra Lions will be taking on Aduana Stars. I will particularly keep an eye on this fixture. And we have Karela United. Of course, they'll be taking on Great Olympics. Bibiana Gold Stars. They will be playing Tamale City. Out of Hope, they will be hosting Medema. Then King Faisal, the FA Cup campaigners, they will be taking on Samatex. Then Bericom Chelsea, they will be traveling to face James FC. Okay, let's talk about something that is hilarious. I know if James were here today, this will have brought us some laughter from him because someone is talking about how Ashanti Kotoko won the Ghana Premier League last season. And the SEC chairman, I'm talking about Kwaku Amponsa, as he's also known as K5, he has revealed that the club paid spiritualists in order to be able to win the Ghana Premier League last season. This kind of stuff, they're very hilarious, but in this part of the world, we do not underestimate the power of black magic. And it's according to him, he said the club paid up to 20,000 Ghana cedis on spiritualists. He said, and these spiritualists helped Ashanti Kotoko to finish at the 2021-2022 Ghana Premier League champions. I'll quickly read the quote. And he said, last season, a lot of effort was put into Ashanti Kotoko Sporting Club's games for the team to win the Premier League. He said 15,000 to 20,000 Ghana cedis was shelled out on operation for the team with the help of eight strong, not just ordinary spiritual men, no, eight of them, spiritual men. Chairman Kwaku Amposa told Ezra FM in an interview. But of course, this season, it's either that the club doesn't have money to pay spiritualists or the spiritualists have retired. Of course, they are not doing well right now on the Ghana Premier League. They are far from winning the title this season. Okay, let's talk about Jordan Ayew and of course Andre Ayew. Recently, a few days ago, a former Black Stars player, Emmanuel Sekufo, not Samuel Sekufo now, Emmanuel Sekufo, came out to say that in an interview, he was quoted to have said that Jordan Ayew, no, Andre Ayew now, Dede Ayew, should be kicked out of the Black Stars. And that elicited a lot of reactions from Ghanaians and, of course, even from football stakeholders, where some are saying, no, it is wrong, it is not, the time hasn't come to do that. But he has come out to say that he didn't say so. And that what he actually meant was that Dede Ayew, that it should be the other way around, that Dede Ayew should be kept in the team in order to help the young ones who are just coming into the team to adapt very well into the team. So I do not know what you think, but I know a lot of Ghanaians wasn't happy. Each time they remember what happened at the 2020 FIFA World Cup in that game against Uruguay, they wouldn't be happy with Dede Ayew. And of course, remember the home game against Angola in the two-legged fixture for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. I almost said FIFA World Cup. No, Africa Cup of Nations. He was on bench. I remember, of course, the controversy that surrounded him being on the bench and his name was omitted on the team list for the day. Okay, let's talk about the under-23 team in Ghana now. Recent development or report coming from Ghana is that Kudus, Pencil, Kamaruddin, they are said to be called up to the Black Meteors. And I do not know how these young men will perceive this because of they are already established in the senior national team. Now bringing them to the 23 team, I do not know how that is going to be perceived by them. But another report has come out to say that Chris Otten will be the one to decide if they will be playing in that team. Remember that the under 23 team, of course, the AFCON will be coming very, very shortly. So preparation is in top gear for that. Now, let's talk about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Remember, he's had a difficult time over the past couple of months from Barcelona to Chelsea, and from Chelsea. It means the situation at Chelsea for him is even worse than where he was coming from. At Barcelona, at least, he was still doing something. But at Chelsea, I remember one of the, a few weeks ago, I think during the El Clasico, Chelsea had a game, but Aubameyang was in Barcelona to watch Barcelona play. I don't know. But last year, he retired from the national team in Gabon. But after a lengthy dialogue with a Gabonese president, I'm talking about Ali Bongo Ondimba, he has made a U-turn and he's come out to say that he's back to the national team. So, of course, it's not clear if he will be immediately drafted into their upcoming 23 AFCON under 23, 2023 AFCON qualifiers. But Aubameyang is back. But I expect that next month for Gabon's game, whether they are close to qualifying or not, I expect that it will be back, because this will be like a presidential order. If the president has intervened in the matter, who is the coach or even the FA to say that, boy, you still have to sit out of the games? I expect Aubameyang to move straight into the Gabon national team, and the captain band returned back to him straight up. Okay, so let's get into the conversation. What do you think about issues that we've talked about today? In Nigeria, remember I told you that only one football facility has been approved by CAF, good enough to host CAF or FIFA tournament or even games. That is the Goswell Akpabio Stadium. We call it the Nest of Champions right here in Akwa Ibom. So what do you think? We have the Abuja National, the Abuja Stadium, which is now Moshood Abiola National Stadium. That stadium built 2003 for $360 million. I do not know, but I know that some teams, even in the Premier League or even in the Championship in England, do not want as much as that. That facility is decaying. The one in Lagos right here, that one is an eyesore, because people have even been locked out completely from that facility. You cannot even access it. You cannot even see the level of work that is being done. That is how we do our things right here in Africa. It is shame, and it is very, very shameful. Okay, remember we talked about the new fixture for the 2026 World Cup qualifier. What do you think about the new format? Do you think it will favor African teams? Remember that we said that it is no longer just be the 6 groups, then the top team in each of the group will make it to the World Cup. No, it's going to be a different format this time. So quickly, I'll read that part again so that we can have a clear understanding. According to the revised format, the team that finishes top of each group will earn direct qualification for the 2026 World Cup. A new qualifying format will involve the formation of 9 groups, with each group comprising 6 teams. 6 teams. So we have 9 groups each with 6 teams. Now, the primary objective of this change is to intensify competition among African nations and increase their opportunities to secure a place in the global showpiece. So the 3 best teams, according to what we say. However, the battle for the World Cup belt will not be confined solely to the group winners. In an exciting twist to the qualification process, the committee announced that the 4 best second place team, 4 best, meaning that Africa will have 10 teams that will potentially be qualifying for the World Cup, because it is possible that these 4 teams will go to the playoff and perhaps qualify. It is possible. But first, it has to be 6. Then the 4 best teams will be engaged in a playoff. What do you think with this arrangement? Do you think it is even better than the initial arrangement? We have only just 6 groups, then the table toppers just make it straight to the World Cup. Let's know what you think in the conversation. And about Ashanti Kotoko paying 8 abalis, we call them abalis right here in Nigeria, voodoo priests, to win the 2021-2022 Ghana Premier League. What do you think? And of course, as the Ghana Premier League this season reaches the home stretch, what do you think? Are you still rooting for Edwana Stars like I am? I am an Edwana fans right now. This is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of Nigeria Super Fans Forum. Thank you very, very much. Many thanks to you, our fans from all over the world. And please, what do you think? Leave it in the comment section. We've always talked about it that in your area, even in your locality, if there is any issue regarding football, maladministration, or something that you think we need to talk about, because this medium reaches all parts of the world that you feel we should talk about, please indicate in the comment section. Let us talk about it. But particularly, what we get the conversation is the new format for the qualifier for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Super Eagles, I'm not confident that this group will favor the Super Eagles. But what do you think? Ghana, Cameroon, South Africa, what do you think? Let us we'll see you later in the week. I remain Ashalolu Afemi. Bye for now.